Just how will the unions react to the restructuring of the South African Airways? Public Enterprises Minister Pravin Gordhan yesterday announced a radical restructure of the national airline, saying SAA cannot continue in its current form. He says the restructure will ensure the SAA's financial and operational sustainability. Gordhan says that last month's strike by Metalworkers Union NUMSA and the South African Cabin Crew Association also affected the airline. On the line now, we're joined by NUMSA National spokesperson Phakamile Hlubi-Majola. A very good morning to you, Phakamile. What is your take on the announcement by the minister?
Good morning, and good morning to your viewers. I think first and foremost, we're not going to go into too much detail for this interview because our intention is to respond in more detail. But we do want to just comment on two issues. When it comes to restructuring of any kind, the general process is that the organization must consult unions. And what we're seeing when it comes to SAA is a trend where leaders just go into the media and make announcements without even speaking to labor. So already we've got a problem. Secondly, the other issue we want to highlight, we don't think that DPE is being honest when they say that SACA and NUMSA deepened the crisis at SAA. Long before workers went on strike, as early as June, the executive management and the board knew that they did not have enough money for workers' salaries and for operations to run for the rest of the year. So I think there must be a very clear, when we're going to talk about problems with SAA, we must be honest. And we must not try and distract and mislead the public by claiming that the strike was the reason that it now suddenly finds itself in financial turmoil. We've known this for a very long time. And in fact, the board and the shareholder were aware of this long before workers embarked on strike action.
Why do you think DPE is disregarding labor in terms of the restructuring process?
Well, certainly they are, because they've gone and they've announced it to the media, but they've not spoken to us. And that's not in line with how processes are supposed to occur. If you are going to restructure a company, as you know, there's a process called Section 189. You inform stakeholders, and then you start the process. You don't just issue a press statement and tell journalists without first doing that.
What are the prospects? I know you say you can't go into detail, but what are the prospects of this new restructuring that the minister has called radical restructuring? What are the prospects for its success?
Well, we don't know. We don't even know what that is because we've not even met. We've not had no discussions. We've had no consultation. We don't know what it looks like. So it's difficult for us to comment. But what we want to make very clear is that there can be no restructuring that does not deal with the fundamental issues which are affecting SAA and have been at the center of SAA's financial crisis, which is, number one, it's very, very costly, 25 billion rand per year procurement spend, which has been exposed in various forensic reports for being largely corrupt. So until we start to deal decisively with that issue, we're not really dealing with the problem of South African Airways and its inability to generate revenue.
So you're saying NUMSA will have a much more comprehensive response later?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for talking to us this morning.
Thank you.
Phakamile Hlubi-Majola is the spokesperson for NUMSA.